The hero's journey, or monomyth, introduced by Joseph Campbell, is a literary template and structure relating to the journey or plot in the adventure genre. Novel or film, this template outlines the key ideas and conventions to the text. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho and Doctor Strange, directed by Scott Derrickson, both utilize conventions and the guidelines of the monomyth. In both texts, Coelho and Derrickson integrate the same archetypal characters, being the hero and the mentor. In The Alchemist, Santiago and the Alchemist meet halfway through the novel, well into Santiago's quest for his personal legend. The pair's relationship develops as the book progresses before they finally part just before Santiago finds his treasure at the conclusion of the book. In Doctor Strange, the two main characters are Doctor Strange and the Ancient One. These characters, unlike Santiago and the Alchemist, have a rough start to their relationship, outlining differences between each other. As the movie progresses, Strange matures and thrives under the watch of the Ancient One, to the point where Strange actually takes over from the Ancient One. This journey as a character is the base of the film, and as an audience we grow and follow Strange's journey. These similarities in both texts play major roles to the plot and overall outcome of the story, thus being the main link to the two texts, the journey and the monomyth theory. Both texts and key characters follow similar aspects of the monomyth, and all have major plot twists or key points at the same stages. The three stages are the call to adventure, crossing of the threshold, and atonement with the Father. In The Alchemist, the three stages mark the different landmarks or learning curves for Santiago and are omens to his overall triumph in achieving his personal legend, especially crossing of the threshold and call to adventure. In these stages, Santiago makes significant decisions which lead him to different characters and situations. In Call to Adventure, Santiago pursues his curiosities of a reoccurring dream and meets many major characters and learns of omens and personal legend. This is his call to adventure, as he has a choice to pursue his personal legend or ignore it. Further into the book, Santiago meets the Crystal Merchant. This is a turning point to the novel, as Santiago had almost given up hope on his quest and is rejuvenated once meeting the character and learned that the Crystal Merchant had decided not to pursue his personal legend. This decision to continue ultimately leads to Santiago meeting the Alchemist and finding his treasure. Unlike the Alchemist, Stephen Strange's call to adventure comes later, as his original goal was to be cured from a debilitating injury as a result of a car accident. It is here he learns of a world outside his own self-centered mindset, and his call to adventure is forged. Strange is given the choice to help for the greater good or be cured and leave. Strange's crossing of the threshold is a major moment in the film, as it signifies a dramatic change in his mindset, where Strange commits to the greater good, leaving his profession behind. The atonement with the Father is somewhat like a calling to Strange. The Ancient One passes, and he is left with the burden of completing their mission of overcoming Dormammu, who is the villain. This is a pivotal moment in the film. These three stages are important in both texts, as they outline the key conventions of the hero's journey that have been implemented into the text. Technique and setting is also a key convention utilized in both texts. Doctor Strange's sci-fi genre comes to life in the setting as we travel to normal places but learn of another dimension. These settings of central areas such as Hong Kong help the plot as the audience gains context and reasoning for both the villain and hero's actions. The Alchemist, however, uses literary devices to help the reader understand the characters and plot, and Coelho uses fables and anecdotes to explore this. He also uses omens, and much like Doctor Strange, bases his plot on prophecy and legend. Coelho's exploration of life on a deeper level and moral of the story is expressed through aspects of his character, especially Santiago. These conventions that both Coelho and Scott Derrickson integrate into their plots, structure, and especially character are all based on the same monomyth theory by Joseph Campbell.